The alarm didn't sound like the others. Officer Marcus Reed had heard fire drills, evacuation tests, even false triggers from faulty wiring. But this one cut through the marble hallways of Buckingham Palace with a sharper edge. It was 2:47 in the morning. His shift had been quiet until now. Too quiet. He pressed his radio close. North Wing report. Static. North Wing, do you copy? Nothing. Marcus felt his chest tighten. The North Wing housed the visiting dignitaries. Tonight, that included a foreign minister and her young daughter. Protocol was clear. No silence. Ever. Before you hear what happened next, if you love real stories that grab your heart and don't let go, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Now, back to that night. Marcus moved fast down the corridor, his boots echoing off the high ceilings. The palace at night felt different. Grand paintings watched him from the walls. Chandeliers hung like frozen stars. But the beauty didn't comfort him now. Something was wrong. He reached the security checkpoint at the north entrance. The monitor screens flickered with live feeds, but no one sat watching them. His partner, Officer Yates, was gone. Marcus keyed his radio again. Control, this is Reed. Checkpoint Alpha is unmanned. Requesting immediate backup. The response came through crackling and tense. Copy that, Reed. Backup is 3 minutes out. Do not proceed alone. But 3 minutes felt like forever, and Marcus had a bad feeling crawling up his spine. He glanced at the monitors. Most showed empty hallways. Dim lighting, stillness. But one camera made him freeze. The feed from the third-floor corridor. A door was open. The door to Suite 12. The minister's suite. It shouldn't be open. Marcus didn't wait. He ran. His hand moved to his baton. His training kicked in. The third floor was colder. The air felt heavier. As he turned the corner, he saw it. The door to Suite 12 wide open. A sliver of light spilling into the dark hallway. He approached slowly now. Quietly. His pulse hammered in his ears. Palace security, he called out. Identify yourself. No answer. He stepped closer. Peered inside. The sitting room was untouched. Elegant furniture, fresh flowers on the table, everything in perfect order. But something felt off. The air smelled faintly of lavender and something else. Something metallic. Then he heard it. A soft sound. A whimper. Coming from the bedroom, Marcus moved fast. He pushed through the door and his heart stopped. The foreign minister, Alina Volkov, was on the floor. Her face was pale, her hand clutching her chest. Her eyes found his, wide and terrified. Beside her, a little girl no older than 7 sat frozen, tears streaming down her cheeks. Help, Alina whispered. Please, my heart. Marcus dropped to his knees. His radio was already in his hand. Code red. Suite 12. Third floor, North Wing. I repeat, medical emergency. The girl grabbed his arm. Her voice was small, shaking. Is my mama going to die? Marcus looked at her. He forced his voice to stay calm. No, we're going to help her. I promise. But even as he said it, he saw Elena's breathing grow shallow. Her lips were turning blue. This wasn't just a heart issue. This was something worse, and then he noticed it. On the nightstand, a teacup, still warm, the faint smell, not lavender, almonds. His blood turned cold. This wasn't a medical emergency. This was poison. Someone had tried to kill the foreign minister. Inside the palace, on his watch, and whoever did it might still be here. Marcus didn't hesitate. Control, this is Reed. Possible poisoning. Lock down the North Wing immediately. No one in or out. The response was instant. Locking down now. Somewhere in the palace, heavy doors began to seal. Electronic locks engaged with quiet clicks. And everyone inside it, a suspect. Marcus turned back to Alina. Her eyes were fluttering. She was fading fast. He tilted her head back, checked her airway. The girl was sobbing now, her small hands pulling at her mother's sleeve. "What's your name?" Marcus asked her gently. "Anya," the girl whispered. "Anya, I need you to be very brave. Can you do that for me?" She nodded, tears dripping off her chin. "Good, I need you to sit right here. Don't touch anything. Help is coming." The door burst open. 2 medics rushed in with a stretcher and emergency kit. Behind them, Officer Yates appeared, his face flushed and confused. "Where the hell were you?" Marcus snapped. "I don't know," Yates stammered. "I was at my post. Then I felt dizzy. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in the break room." "Someone must have drugged you," Marcus finished. His jaw tightened. This was planned, carefully, professionally. The medics worked fast. They checked Elena's vitals, started an IV, administered something from a small vial. One of them looked up at Marcus. "Cyanide poisoning. If you hadn't found her when you did, she'd be dead in minutes." Anya let out a choked cry. Marcus knelt beside her. "Your mama's strong. They're helping her." But his mind was racing. Cyanide, in the palace. That meant someone had access. The schedules. The blind spots. A voice crackled over his radio. "Read this as Chief Dalton's status?" Marcus stepped into the hallway. "Victim is stable for now. Medics are handling it. But Chief, this was an assassination attempt. Inside job. Had to be." There was a pause. Then Dalton's voice came back, colder. "Secure the scene. I'm sending a team. No one talks to anyone. Understand?" "Understood." Marcus walked back into the suite. The medics were loading Alina onto the stretcher. Anya clung to the side, refusing to let go. One of the medics gently pried her fingers away. "Sweetheart, we need space to help her." "I want to go with her," Anya cried.
"You will," Marcus said.
"I'll take you myself. But first I need to ask you something. Did anyone come into this room tonight? Anyone at all?" Anya wiped her eyes with her sleeve. She thought hard. The lady. The one with the tea. "What lady?" "She brought tea. She said it was special. For Mama, to help her sleep." "What did she look like?" Anya's voice was small. She was wearing the uniform, like the other helpers. But she had a kind smile. "Check the staff logs. Everyone who had access to this floor tonight. I want names, photos, everything." Yates nodded and hurried out. The medics wheeled Alina toward the door. Marcus took Anya's hand. "Come on. Stay close to me." As they moved through the hallway, Marcus scanned every shadow, every corner. The palace felt different now. Not safe, not sacred. Just a maze full of secrets. They reached the elevator. The doors opened. Inside stood a woman in a staff uniform. She smiled warmly at Anya. "Poor dear," the woman said softly. "Is everything all right?" She didn't say anything, but her eyes went wide. Marcus felt it too. Something in the air shifted. The woman's smile didn't reach her eyes. And then Marcus saw it. On her wrist, a small tattoo. A black rose. He'd seen that symbol before. In a briefing, a file marked classified. Codename Thorn. His hand moved toward his radio. But the woman was faster. She stepped back, her smile dropping. Her hand moved to her pocket.
"Don't," Marcus said firmly.
The woman tilted her head. She wasn't supposed to survive. Then she turned and ran. Marcus didn't think. "Yates, get the girl to medical. Now." He shoved Anya toward his partner and took off down the hallway. His boots pounded against the marble floor. The woman was fast. Too fast. She rounded a corner and disappeared from sight. Marcus keyed his radio as he ran. Suspect fleeing female, staff uniform. Tattoo on left wrist. Black rose. She's heading toward the east stairwell. Copy. All units converge on east side. But Marcus knew the layout better than most. He'd walked these halls 1,000 times. There was a shortcut. A service corridor behind the old portrait gallery. If he was fast enough, he could cut her off. He veered left, pushed through a narrow door marked staff only. The corridor was tight and dim. Pipes ran along the ceiling. The smell of old stone and cleaning supplies filled the air. His lungs burned, but he didn't slow down. He burst out the other side just as the woman reached the bottom of the stairwell. She saw him. Her eyes narrowed. For a split second, they stared at each other. Then she lunged. Marcus barely blocked the strike. Her fist came at his throat, fast and precise. Trained, he twisted, grabbed her wrist, tried to lock her arm. But she spun out of it, her elbow cracking against his ribs. Pain shot through his side. He stumbled back. She didn't run. She came at him again, this time with something in her hand. A small blade. It gleamed under the flickering hallway light. Marcus dodged. The blade sliced through the air, inches from his face. He grabbed a fire extinguisher off the wall and swung it hard. It connected with her shoulder. She grunted, but didn't go down. Asterisk, who sent you? Marcus demanded, breathing hard. She smiled, cold, empty. You think this ends with me? Before he could respond, she threw the blade. Not at him. At the lights. The bulbs shattered. Darkness swallowed the corridor. Marcus heard her footsteps. Running again. He cursed and followed the sound. His hand brushed the wall, guiding him. His heart hammered. He couldn't lose her. Not now. He reached the end of the corridor and pushed through another door. Suddenly, he was back in the main halls. Moonlight streamed through tall windows. And there she was. 20 feet ahead, running toward the service exit. Stop! Marcus shouted. She didn't. He sprinted harder. His legs burned. His ribs ached. But he was gaining on her. 10 feet. 5. Then the door ahead of them flew open. 3 guards poured in, weapons drawn. Freeze. The woman skidded to a halt. She was trapped. Guards behind her. Marcus in front. Nowhere to go. But she didn't look scared. She looked ... calm. She reached into her pocket. Slowly. Hands where I can see them. One of the guards barked. She pulled something out. Small, round, a capsule. Marcus's blood turned cold. No, don't. She locked eyes with him. Tell them it's just beginning. Then she bit down on the capsule. No. Marcus lunged forward, but it was too late. She collapsed. Her body hit the floor with a sickening thud. Foam appeared at the corners of her mouth. Her eyes stared blankly at the ceiling. The guards rushed forward. One checked her pulse. He looked up and shook his head. Marcus stood there, breathing hard, staring down at the body. His mind raced. Cyanide. The same poison she'd used on Alina. She'd carried it as a failsafe. To take herself out before anyone could question her? Read. Chief Dalton's voice cut through the chaos. Marcus turned. The chief stood at the end of the hallway, his face grim. Marcus followed him into a side office. He turned to Marcus, his expression unreadable. You recognize the tattoo? Yes, sir. Black rose. I saw it in a classified briefing 6 months ago. International operative. Part of a group called the Thorn Syndicate.
Alpins.
Jaw tightened. Marcus swallowed. I was covering for Henderson. He was sick. I was at his desk when the file came through. I only glanced at it. That glance just saved a woman's life. Dalton paced the room. The Thorn Syndicate. They don't take contracts lightly. If they wanted Alina Volkov dead, there's a reason. A big one. What reason? Dalton stopped pacing. He looked Marcus straight in the eye. Minister Volkov is set to testify next week against a major arms dealer, someone powerful, someone with reach, and they wanted her silenced. Exactly. Dalton rubbed his face. But here's the problem. If they sent one operative, they might send more. The words hung heavy in the air. Marcus felt his chest tighten again. Anya, the girl. If they couldn't get to the mother, Dalton nodded slowly. They'll go for the daughter. Marcus didn't wait for orders. He turned and ran. His ribs screamed in protest, but he didn't care. Anya, he'd sent her with Yates to the medical wing. But if there was another operative inside the palace, ... He grabbed his radio. Yates, do you copy? Static, Yates. More static. Then a crackle. Voice. But not Yates. He can't hear you. Marcus's blood went cold. He recognized that voice. Smooth. Calm. It was coming from Yates's radio. Where's the girl? Marcus demanded. A soft laugh. Closer than you think. The line went dead. Marcus sprinted through the corridors. His mind raced through the possibilities. Medical wing was 2 floors down. He hit the stairwell and took the steps 3 at a time. His hands stayed on his baton. His eyes scanned every shadow. He burst through the doors into the medical wing. The hallway was empty. Too empty. The nurse's station sat abandoned. A chair was overturned. Papers scattered on the floor, Anya. Marcus called out. His voice echoed. Nothing. He moved quickly, checking each room. Empty, empty, empty. Where was everyone? Then he heard it. A small sound. A whimper. Coming from the end of the hall, the private recovery room where they would have taken Alina, Marcus approached slowly. The door was slightly open. He could see movement inside. Shadows on the wall. He pushed the door open. Anya was there. Sitting on the floor, tears streaming down her face. Her hands were bound with zip ties. And standing over her, holding a syringe, was someone Marcus never expected to see. Officer Yates.
Act.
Don't move, Yates said quietly. His hand was steady. The syringe hovered near Anya's neck. Marcus felt the world tilt. What are you doing? Yates smiled. But it wasn't the smile of the man Marcus had worked beside for 2 years. It was cold. Practiced. My job. You're one of them. I've always been one of them. Yates kept his eyes on Marcus. You think the syndicate just sends in strangers? We plant people. Years in advance. Waiting, watching, and when the time comes, we act. Right. Marcus's mind spun. 2 years. Yates had been his partner for 2 years. They'd shared shifts, meals, stories about their families. All of it a lie. The drugged tea, Marcus said slowly. You set it up. Made sure you were out of the way. Had to make it convincing. Yates shrugged. I'm good at my job. Let the girl go. She's 7 years old. The girl is leverage. Her mother survives? We need insurance. Yates tilted his head. But if you let me walk out of here with her, no one else has to die tonight, Anya sobbed. Please, I want my mama. Marcus looked at her. So small, so scared. His chest ached. He thought of his own daughter, safe at home, asleep in her bed. What would he do if someone threatened her? He'd burn the world down. You're not taking her, Marcus said firmly. Yates sighed. Then I guess we have a problem. Yeah, we do. Marcus moved fast. He threw his baton. It flew through the air and hit Yates's wrist. The syringe flew from his hand and clattered across the floor. Yates cursed and lunged for it. But Marcus was already on him. They collided hard. Yates was strong, trained. But Marcus fought with something deeper, something raw. He thought of Anya, of Alina, of every person he'd sworn to protect. Yates landed a punch to Marcus's jaw. Stars exploded in his vision. But he didn't let go. He grabbed Yates by the collar and slammed him against the wall. Once, twice. Yates's head snapped back. You're done, Marcus growled. Yates smiled through bloody teeth. You think so? He drove his knee into Marcus's injured ribs. Pain white-hot and blinding. Marcus stumbled back. Yates scrambled for the syringe. His fingers closed around it, but before he could stand, the door burst open. Chief Dalton and 4 armed guards flooded the room. Weapons drawn, aimed. Drop it. Dalton ordered to asterisk. Yates froze. He looked at the syringe in his hand. Then at Marcus. Then at Anya. For a moment, everything was still. Then Yates dropped the syringe. He raised his hand slowly. Smart move, Dalton said. Take him. The guards moved in. They cuffed Yates roughly and dragged him toward the door. As he passed Marcus, Yates leaned close and whispered, "This isn't over. There are others, and they're closer than you think." Then he was gone. Marcus dropped to his knees beside Anya. He pulled out a pocket knife and cut through the zip ties. Her hands were free. She threw her arms around his neck and sobbed into his shoulder. "It's okay," Marcus whispered. "You're safe now. I've got you." But even as he said it, Yates's words echoed in his mind. There are others. The medical wing filled with people quickly. Doctors, nurses, security. Chief Dalton ordered a full lockdown of the entire palace. Every corner searched. Marcus sat in a chair beside Elena's bed. She was breathing steadily now. The doctors had worked fast, flushed the poison from her system. She'd been lucky. Minutes later, and she wouldn't have made it. Anya sat on the edge of the bed, holding her mother's hand. Elena's eyes fluttered open, weak, tired, but alive. "Mama," Anya whispered. Elena's lips moved. A faint smile. She squeezed her daughter's hand. Then her eyes found Marcus. "Saved us." Marcus shook his head. "Just doing my job, no?" Elena's voice was soft, but firm. "You did more than that." "Thank you," Marcus nodded. He didn't know what else to say. He felt tired, bone-deep tired. His ribs throbbed. His jaw ached. But they were alive. That's what mattered. Chief Dalton appeared in the doorway. He gestured for Marcus to step outside. Marcus stood carefully and followed him into the hallway. Dalton asked, "Stable. She'll recover." Good. Dalton paused. He looked older suddenly, worn. We found 2 more, embedded in the staff, kitchen worker and a cleaner. Both had the same tattoo, Black Rose. How long were they here? Years, just like Yates. They've been watching, waiting. Dalton rubbed his temples. This wasn't just about killing Minister Volkov. This was about showing they can reach anyone, anywhere, even here. In the palace, Marcus leaned against the wall. His mind was spinning. What happens now? Asterisk, interrogation, investigation. We'll find out who's behind this. Dalton looked at Marcus. "And you're going to be a key part of it. Me. You saved her life. You stopped the operative. You exposed Yates." Dalton's expression softened. "You did good tonight, Reed. Real good." Marcus didn't feel like a hero. He felt like someone who'd been lucky. 1 minute earlier, 1 second slower, and everything would have been different. "Get some rest," Dalton said. "You've earned it." But Marcus couldn't rest. Not yet. He went back into the room. Anya had curled up beside her mother, finally asleep. Elena watched him with tired eyes. "Can I ask you something?" Marcus said quietly. "Of course, it's a testimony. Next week. Is it worth all this?" Elena was silent for a moment. Then she spoke. "The man I'm testifying against has killed hundreds, sold weapons to terrorists, funded wars, destroyed families." She looked down at Anya. "If I don't speak, he walks free, and more people die. You're very brave." "No," Elena shook her head. "I'm terrified. But some things are bigger than fear." Marcus understood. He'd felt it tonight. That moment when fear didn't matter. When the only thing that mattered was doing what was right. He stood there for a while, watching over them. The palace was locked down, guards everywhere, but Yates's words still haunted him. There are others. Hours passed. Dawn broke over London. Pale light filtered through the windows. The city woke up. People went about their lives, unaware of what had happened in the night, unaware of how close they'd come to an international incident. Marcus finally left the medical wing. He walked through the empty corridors. The palace felt different now. Not magical. Not untouchable. Just a building, with walls and doors and secrets. He reached his locker in the staff room. Opened it. Inside was a photo. His daughter, smiling, missing her front teeth. He'd taken it last summer. At the park, she'd been laughing at something. He couldn't even remember what. He touched the photo gently, reminded himself why he did this job, why it mattered. Then he noticed something. A small envelope, tucked behind the photo. It hadn't been there before. His heart stopped. He pulled it out slowly. His name was written on the front, in neat handwriting. He opened it. Inside was a single card, and on it, drawn in black ink, was a rose. Underneath a message, "Well done, Marcus. But the game isn't over. We'll be watching." His hands shook. They'd been in his locker. They knew his name. His daughter's photo. They'd gotten that close. Yates was right. There were others, and they were still here. Marcus didn't show the card to anyone. Not yet. He slipped it into his pocket and closed his locker carefully. His mind raced. They wanted him to know. Wanted him scared. That was the point. But fear could be useful. It could sharpen you, make you careful. He pulled out his phone, called home. His wife answered on the second ring. Her voice was sleepy. "Marcus, is everything okay?" "Yeah, just checking in." He tried to keep his voice steady. "How's Emma?" "Still asleep. Bad dream earlier. She wanted her teddy." His wife yawned. "Long night." "You could say that." He paused. "Listen, I need you to do something for me. Pack a bag. For you and Emma, go stay at your sister's for a few days." There was silence on the other end. "Then Marcus, what's going on?" "Just a precaution. Work stuff. I can't explain right now." "Trust me." Another pause. "Longer this time." "Okay, we'll leave this morning. Thank you." Relief flooded through him. "I love you." "Love you too." "Be safe." The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone. One problem handled? Now for the rest. He headed straight to Chief Dalton's office. Knocked once. Entered without waiting. Dalton looked up from a stack of papers. His eyes were red. He hadn't slept either. "Reed, I thought I told you to rest." Marcus pulled out the card and placed it on the desk. Dalton stared at it. His expression darkened. "Where did you find this?" "My locker. Someone put it there. Sometime after the lockdown. It's impossible. The lockdown sealed every entrance. No one could have." Dalton stopped. His face went pale, unless they were already inside. "Exactly." Marcus leaned forward. "Sir, we caught 3 operatives, but the syndicate doesn't work in small numbers. There could be more. 5, 10, we don't know." Dalton stood abruptly. He paced to the window, looked out at the palace grounds. "We've been compromised. Not just tonight. For years. They've been patient. Building their network. What do we do?" Dalton turned back to him. "We bring in outside help. Me 5. People we can trust. People who aren't on the inside." Picked up the phone on his desk. "And we move Minister Volkov and her daughter tonight, before they try again." Marcus nodded. It made sense. The palace wasn't safe. Not anymore. But as Dalton made the call, Marcus felt a nagging doubt. If the syndicate had people everywhere, how could they trust anyone? MI5 could be compromised too. The whole system could be rotten. He pushed the thought away. They had to try. They had to trust someone. Hours blurred together. Mi Wu arrived. Interviews began. Every staff member questioned. Every access log checked, the palace became a hive of activity. Tension hung in the air like smoke. Marcus stayed close to Alina and Anya. He didn't trust anyone else. Not after Yates. Not after the card. By late afternoon, the plan was set. A secure convoy would take Alina and Anya to a safe house outside London. Unmarked vehicles. Rotating drivers? No advance notice to anyone. Marcus was assigned to the convoy, along with 4 MI5 agents he'd never met. Their leader, a woman named Harper, briefed them in a secure room. "We leave at 2100 hours. 3 vehicles, Minister and Child in the center car. We take back roads. No main highways. No predictable routes. If anything goes wrong, your priority is the package." Understood? Everyone nodded. Marcus felt the weight of his weapon at his side. He'd been trained for situations like this. But training and reality were different things. As the sun set, they prepared. Alina was given a bulletproof vest. Anya held her mother's hand tightly. She looked scared but trying to be brave. Marcus knelt beside her. "Remember what I told you?" "You're very brave," Anya nodded. "Will you stay with us?" "Promise." At exactly 2100 hours, they moved. The convoy pulled out of a side entrance. 3 black SUVs. Windows tinted, no lights. They slipped into the London night like shadows. Marcus sat in the center vehicle. Alina and Anya beside him. Harper drove. Another agent in the passenger seat. The other 2 vehicles flanked them, front and back. The city passed by in a blur. Streets and lights and people living normal lives, unaware of the danger riding past them. They reached the outskirts of London. The buildings grew sparse. Trees appeared. Maybe they'd make it. Maybe the syndicate didn't know. Then Harper's radio crackled. A voice from the lead vehicle. "We've got company." 2 cars. Black sedan and a van. Following at distance, Marquez's blood went cold. Harper's jaw tightened. "Just pick them up. About a mile back. Lose them." The convoy sped up. Anya whimpered. Alina pulled her close. Marcus looked through the rear window. The headlights behind them grew brighter, closer. Then the shooting started.